Welcome. Imagine a place where the world is no longer as we know it, a land stretching thousands of kilometers, hiding ancient secrets, mysterious artifacts, and inexplicable phenomena. Antarctica is not just the cold edge of the Earth. It is a gateway to the unknown. Every step taken by an explorer here becomes a revelation, and every whisper of the wind reminds us that nature guards its secrets. But what if beneath the ice, we see more than just frozen water? Mysterious glowing spheres, ancient ruins, and underwater walls. Antarctica invites us to uncover its secrets, but warns that the cost of knowledge may be too great for explorers to bear. Today we embark on a journey where reality meets myth, and scientific discoveries open doors to worlds humanity fears to acknowledge. Antarctica is the southernmost continent on Earth, discovered by Russian explorers in 1820. Covered in a thick layer of ice, it conceals many mysteries. For over 2 million years, no precipitation has fallen here. Yet Antarctica holds about 61% of the world's freshwater reserves. One of the unique features hidden beneath the ice crust is Lake Vostok. Discovered relatively recently in 1966 through the joint efforts of Russian and British polar researchers, the lake covers an area of approximately 15,690 square kilometers, with a maximum depth exceeding 1,200 meters. It lies beneath a 3,623-meter thick glacier. Despite surface temperatures dropping to minus 54.5 degrees Celsius, no light, and extremely high water pressure, scientists have found living organisms there. These bacteria evolved in isolation from other species, making them entirely different from known microorganisms. The discovery of Lake Vostok was preceded by a long journey. Drilling began in 1989. Thanks to the cooperation of Soviet, French, and American specialists. At a depth of 3,539 meters, reached in 1996, the chemical and isotopic composition of the ice, as well as its crystallographic structure, changed significantly. This revealed the presence of frozen freshwater from a subglacial lake. Despite difficulties and accidents, drilling efforts continued yearly. Finally, on February 5, 2012, at a depth of 3,769.3 meters, the borehole reached the surface of the subglacial lake. However, Lake Vostok is just one of many such lakes in Antarctica. Their total number may exceed 400. In Antarctica, there are regions where the continental surface is not covered by ice. One such place is the Bentley Subglacial Trench, located in Marie Byrd Land. This trench likely formed due to tectonic processes and reaches depths of 2,500 to 4,000 meters below sea level, though it is filled with snow despite its depth. Antarctica is divided into two parts, Western and Eastern Antarctica. The ice sheet in Eastern Antarctica is significantly thicker, ranging from 3,468 to 3,962 meters, whereas in Western Antarctica, it is much thinner, about 1,000 to 900 meters. This difference is due to the presence of remnants of the ancient supercontinent Gondwana beneath the eastern ice. Gondwana included continents such as Africa, South America, India, Australia, and Antarctica itself. When Gondwana broke apart due to tectonic activity, part of the Antarctic continent ended up near the South Pole, and its ancient landscapes were buried. These ancient geological structures are called cratons, stable rock cores of the continent, whose ages can range from 100 million to over 2.5 billion years. Since the early 20th century, when the first explorers ventured to conquer the South Pole, reports of oddities and anomalies have emerged. In the late 1950s, a tragic expedition to the South Pole from the Mirny station ended with only 2 survivors out of 6 participants. Only one of them, Yuri Korsunov, retained his sanity. He later described the events, claiming that the group was attacked by a massive glowing sphere with a diameter of 15.2 to 19.8 meters. According to Korsunov, this object changed color and shape, at times resembling a cylinder, with an opening that allowed it to move. Under the influence of this entity, air pressure instantly rose. People suffered severe burns, and their clothing turned into tattered rags. Another incident occurred in 1966. An American expedition that set out from Midway Station returned without any loss of life among its 17 participants, but half of them later ended up in psychiatric institutions. All reports and records of this expedition were immediately classified. Scientists in Antarctica have repeatedly encountered mystical phenomena. Massive glowing spheres and figures, whose appearances were accompanied by magnetic anomalies and snow melting, became a deadly threat to many expedition members in the area of the southern magnetic pole. This mysterious phenomenon was named in 1966 by American physicist Roish Ristroff, who called them plasmasauruses. He believed that these entities were living beings composed of condensed plasmas. Some scientists acknowledge the existence of such anomalies but interpret them differently. They consider them to be psychophysical energy formations capable of causing hallucinations and harming people with powerful electrical discharges. Some experts even speculate that such formations may have originated long before the emergence of organic life on Earth. The expedition to Antarctica, led in 1912 by the renowned British explorer Robert Falcon Scott, ended in tragedy in 1913. It turned out that only one of the participants managed to return home alive, bringing with him a rare photographic archive that might contain information about the legendary ice wall, one of Antarctica's mysteries. According to legend, this wall spans the entire icy continent. Photographs taken by Scott's team, stored in sealed British archives, reportedly depict a landscape with an ice barrier, beyond which lies a zone of extreme low temperatures, open thermal springs, melting ice, and emerging vegetation, including forests. At the end of this zone, towering rock formations stand before an unknown ocean. Scattered along the coast are various artifacts and ruins of ancient frames of statues depicting humans and mysterious beings. Many people wonder why participants in polar expeditions had to endure extreme hardships, surviving on frozen food, traveling by sled, and suffering frostbite, when they knew the chances of survival were very low. Officially, it is believed that Robert Scott froze to death on his way back to the ship Terra Nova, which had taken him to Antarctica. Unofficial research from the late 20th century, however, suggests that the famous explorer might have been murdered. It was discovered that all rest stops along the return route were empty. Supplies of food, fuel, and equipment had vanished, leading to the expedition's demise. Some speculate that predators might have destroyed the supplies. The primary suspicion, however, falls on the captain of the Terra Nova. Robert Scott may have learned too much and been unwilling to keep this information secret. There exists an ancient map by Admiral Piri Reis that depicts the coastline and topography of Antarctica with remarkable accuracy, as if created using satellites with infrared sensors capable of seeing through the ice. All this suggests that Antarctica is a massive artificial freezer designed to seal off a gateway to other worlds, and this truth is carefully concealed. Perhaps Antarctica is just one part of a larger mystery. Its research, however, is strictly controlled and censored. All credible information about the massive wall is either ridiculed or vanishes without a trace from archives and the internet. This mysterious structure, stretching along the 180th meridian in the Pacific region, has been erased from navigation maps and services. Although experienced sailors and submariners are aware of its existence, discussions on the topic are deliberately avoided. It seems someone is actively preventing the dissemination of information about this structure. This enigmatic object, named the Great White Wall in 2020, stretches along the ocean floor up to the Arctic. The wall's length is estimated at approximately 20,117 kilometers. Its width ranges from 94 kilometers to 3,962 meters, and its height reaches up to 5,943 meters in various locations. The wall's structure is diverse. Some sections feature support columns and braces, while other segments display structures resembling gates. Near this wall, there are pyramid-like formations, likely of artificial origin, as well as areas covered in mud and sand. Some parts of the wall show signs of destruction, suggesting the presence of metallic or other supportive elements within. Interestingly, scholarly literature occasionally includes articles about ancient architectural objects in this area, which could belong to long-lost civilizations. The hypothesis of this wall's existence was first proposed by scientists studying square icebergs in the Ross Sea near Antarctica's coast. During their research, they encountered a mysterious object resembling a massive wall. To better understand the context of this great underwater wall, one must delve into history. In 1884, the international community defined the Greenwich meridian as the prime meridian. The proposal for meridians was made in honor of the Greenwich Observatory in London, from where world time is measured. Among the scientists involved in the discussion on selecting the prime meridian was Scottish-Canadian Sir Sandford Fleming. Fleming proposed establishing the prime meridian along the underwater wall. This proposal, however, was rejected in favor of the Greenwich meridian, allegedly to avoid excessive transparency. Since 2010, photos and videos of the mysterious underwater wall have appeared online, taken by bloggers and enthusiasts using online ocean maps and navigation services. Unfortunately, in 2019, this structure was removed from maps. Official research of the site was terminated. Representatives of Google stated that it was merely an optical error caused by overlapping images of the ocean floor. Nevertheless, some parts of the map still show blurred pyramid-like gates and other structures that appear artificial. Although the hypothesis of a massive underwater structure was proposed long before the internet, evidence of its existence continues to generate interest. In internet archives, old scientific publications can still be found that indirectly reference a colossal underwater structure stretching from one pole to the other. Some of these studies also mention the presence of square icebergs in the Ross Sea, supporting the theory of this structure's existence. Antarctica remains shrouded in mystery, promising new revelations in the future.